Hello, family. I hope that this video finds everyone safe and well. I wanted to come on today. I know that this is a cervical cancer awareness month, and it seems like lately I've been hearing a lot about cancer. I even went to the grocery store and the cashier and I got to striking up a conversation, and she was just telling me she had a scare in regards to breast cancer. And then I talked to another friend who's telling me about another friend who has prostate cancer, and then telling me about somebody else who had dealt with throat cancer. And I have had to go to the doctor recently myself, a couple weeks ago, and now my doctor wants to do a biopsy on me in order to see if I have uterine cancer. And so I just thought, whew, okay. So sometimes it just feels like, just when it rains, it pours. And I decided, and I really felt strongly led to come on here and to encourage those. I know we're discussing a pandemic, and and that is real, and it is having major consequences. But there are still so many other um, diseases and other illnesses out there that are still in existence and still amongst us, that we need to make sure that we are doing all that we can do in order to maintain good health. And so, with that being said, I wanted to just come on here today and encourage anyone who may be experiencing different things in their bodies. My body was really the one that began to showed signs of symptoms that made me realize, you know what, I probably need to go to the doctor. And even then, I'll be honest, I didn't really want to, but my husband said, you need to let your doctor know this. And so my body began to start experiencing certain things that I could no longer ignore, and I had to respond. And so my biopsy is going to be next month. But I felt like, because of all that I was hearing about in terms of cancer, and also because I know that there are many people that may not be responding to their bodies. You may be ignoring it because you're afraid to go in and see your doctor during this pandemic. But I want to strongly encourage you, love yourself and do what it takes in order for you to get the care, the medical care you need, in order for you to be as well as possible. And so, with that, I know that there are some who may even be like me and be in this gap of knowing that something could be awry, and finding out what that is. That gap of waiting can be difficult. And so I just wanted to share, because nobody wants to hear the big C word. That's a scary word. And I'll admit, when I first heard it, I was shaken. I was shaken. And I was already in the process of losing my mother that week, and then hearing that from my doctor. So you could imagine that I was just feeling, a little off base there. And so I'll never forget that night. I was like, what do I want to do right now? What do I need to do in order to be okay? And music has always been something that lifts my spirit. And so I went in the room, went in our guest room, and I turned on some of my favorite songs, and I made them really loud. I turned that radio up, the computer up, because it wasn't the radio, and I just danced and danced and danced. But there are some other things that I want to encourage those of you, because I know that uncertainty is difficult to embrace. It is difficult to embrace that period of not knowing. And it seems like now I can see so many commercials about cancer. It didn't register with me that much before, but now I'm seeing like, it seems like I'm seeing more than I used to see. And I'm sure I'm just more aware now. Um, but in that time, it's so important to just stay calm and and to not to jump to conclusions. So I'm waiting until I have a clear, distinct answer about what may be going on in my body. And so I like to call that stepping into the know. I'm not going to jump to conclusions and wait to step into the know. And so until then, I've just got to wait. And so, what am I doing in the meantime? In the meantime, I'm making sure that I'm eating right. I'm making sure that I'm still exercising. I'm making sure that when there are sunny days, I'm outside and I'm soaking up the sun rays. I am making sure that I have a support system around me. So I have asked people to pray for me in the meantime. So I know I've got a group of people who are out there who are lifting me up in prayer as I wait, as I go through this wait. I'm also A lady taught me in my Bible study group that if I was feeling anxious, to just go to the Lord in prayer and just be honest with Him and just tell Him, Papa, I'm feeling anxious right now. And your word says, be anxious for nothing. And so it's amazing that every time I do that, there's just this calm that comes over me. Um, and so I'm being surrounded by a lot of love. It's amazing as we've shared the anticipation of what could be. um, my children are just loving on their mama, and that love is just sustaining me right now. Love is just sustaining me, and I've got so many friends who are calling me and they're checking on me and seeing about me that it's just sustaining. So make sure you've got a good support system around you, even in the midst of the wait. You know, I wasn't going to mention anything to my children, but I'm so glad my husband did, because there's no point. My children are older, and I think sometimes we can, well, I won't tell anybody, I won't say anything to anybody. And I've just decided that I don't want to take on that martyr mentality. I'm not anybody's martyr. And so I need people to love on me. I need people to check on me. I need people to pray for me. I need people to see about me. And one of the other things I'm doing is meditation. I found some great biblical meditations online. Um, there's two. There's one called Surrender to God meditation that's really good. I've shared that with a lot of people. And then there's another one called Be Still meditation. That's like her heading, but then the subtitles are like Let Go and Trust God. So be still, let go and trust God, and then be still. Um, I can't remember that one. It's called Be Still and Have Thine Own Way, or something like that. Oh, I know what it is. Thank you, Lord. It is Be Still, Thy Will Be Done. And I believe the person's first name is Beatrice. So forgive me for not looking that up before I did this video. And then the other thing that I'm doing is expressive writing. If I feel like I just need to pour out, I just pour it out on paper. Um, and I want to circle back to the prayer thing and having a support system. Because what I really realized is that I don't need people's pity. I need their prayer. I need their prayer, not pity, but prayer. Because prayer is so powerful. And so as I write in my journal, as I have this beautiful support system around me, as I'm being loved on, as I'm refusing to jump into tomorrow, and as the gentleman who wrote the book, The Shack, I love this gentleman, because I heard him say one day on one of Oprah Winfrey's shows, Super Soul Sunday, I heard him say that he has had to learn how to live in the grace of today. And I love that saying, to learn to live in the grace today. Listen, tomorrow has enough worries of its own. I just want to stay in the grace that God has given me this day. And that enables me to get up, do, go, be all that I'm called to be and do all that I'm called to do until the time will come when I will have an answer, and then we will determine what to do moving forward. So this video is really just to encourage any of you who may be experiencing anything different in your body. If your body is saying something doesn't seem right now, something's not right, don't ignore. That's not love. Don't ignore. Respond by getting the care that you need. And then third, for those of you who may be like me and you're in the midst of the wait, find things that encourage you, that uplift you. And hopefully some of those things that I shared on my list will be things that you can implement, things that you can do in order to help you just stay calm and stay relaxed in the midst of the wait. Because when we're getting all anxious, all these metabolic and biochemical changes are happening in our body. So when you're at peace, I know and believe that that also impacts our health and wellness. It impacts our health and wellness. And so, as you can see, my spiritual wellness has a lot to do with my ability to deal with the uncertainty of this season in my life. But I'm able to do it and still keep it moving. Still keep it moving. Still keep a smile on my face. Because there's no reason for me to step into the no until it's time. Okay? And so I hope that with that I have used my words well, because I believe that even in these times of uncertainty, we can still be wonderfully well as long as we respond in loving ways to ourselves while we're in the midst of the wait. So I hope that encourages someone today. Love yourself, respond, and then make sure that you're doing things in the midst of your wait in order to maintain your peace. Okay? All righty. Until next time. Bye-bye.